Gods of the universe, I come here to raise an army. There's a maniac who seeks to end us all. We must do something. I'm counting on them.
Will Thor be able to raise an army to defeat the God Butcher? Let's find out together, shall we? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Forever Fangirls podcast, where age is nothing but a number in life and in fandoms. I am Sheila Amato, and you can find me and my wife on our website at foreverfangirls.com.
And I am Kimberly Amato, and you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ForeverFanPod. Same handle, 3 socials.
We are your hosts, and we're glad you can join us.
And on today's episode, we are going to be discussing another movie of Phase 4 for Marvel, which is the latest installment of the Thor franchise, Thor, Love, and Thunder. Feel the thunder.
Oh my goodness. Do you feel the thunder? Anyway. As always, spoilers are ahead, so if you haven't seen Thor, Love, and Thunder yet, please pause us. We'll be right here when you return. I was like, where's my banter music? Okay.
I hit the button, but apparently my finger slid off the side of it. Sorry.
Anyway, so we saw this movie on opening weekend in the theater and wanted to record this as soon as possible.
For honestly 2 reasons. One, we wanted to get our thoughts recorded as soon as possible so we didn't forget anything. But more importantly, because when this drops, we're actually going to be in Canada for the Erper Homestead Convention. Yay!
Yes, so we are excitedly planning our schedules as well as prepping for our panels.
So if you're there, say hi.
Yes, really looking forward to it. But in the meantime, let's get back to this show and our discussion of Thor 4.
I think that's like the shortest banter music we've ever had.
Well, it's all good.
Anyway, here is a short summary from Google.
Thor embarks on a journey unlike anything he's ever faced, a quest for inner peace. However, his retirement gets interrupted by Gorr the God Butcher, a galactic killer who seeks the extinction of the gods.
I guess that was apropos since there were a lot of kids in this movie.
Yeah.
And you're doing Elmo.
I mean, we had a toddler behind us. They literally, remember they brought the stroller up the stairs?
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit more about the film that's not really mentioned in the summary is that we get the backstory of how Thor and Jane got together and then grew apart. And when they finally meet up again, Jane becomes the Mighty Thor, but Thor finds out that she's dying from stage 4 cancer. Uh-oh. A similar parallel happens with the villain Gorr, played by Christian Bale. He became the God Butcher because he was angry at the gods for forsaking him and his daughter, dooming his daughter to death. He then goes on a quest to capture Stormbreaker from Thor so that he can reach eternity to wish all of the gods to die so that he doesn't have to do it by himself one by one. However, Thor and Mighty Thor are there with him, and they convince Gorr that he should wish for his daughter to come back to life, to choose love, right? And so when Gorr and Jane die, Thor takes Gorr's daughter and promises to take care of her. In the end, Thor and Gorr's daughter travel the galaxy, helping those in trouble as, quote, Love and Thunder, with Thor wielding Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's
Sorry.
how I've been saying it.
I don't know. And Love, with her own superhero powers now herself, wielding Stormbreaker.
Can I just put in like a slight Stormbreaker?
Mm.
Just remind me about that later.
Okay.
That's my remember the pin in it sound.
Okay.
I'm already doing it. So let's just jump right into the good, shall we?
Okay.
The Mighty Thor.
Woohoo! Natalie Portman and her...
I mean, come on.
I was going to say Natalie Portman and her, like, really, really well-developed shoulders.
Okay, well, besides all of the bodybuilding and everything that I'm sure Natalie Portman had to do, just, I love the character. I you know, the fact that, you know, Mjolnir called out to her and, you know, protected her and the way that she just looked and carried herself and wanted to help everybody, staying true to the comics, even though, we don't like that she has stage 4 cancer. We don't like this at all. But staying true to it, knowing that Mjolnir is actually causing, it's shortening her life.
Yeah.
And all of that. And it's just, again, there is something else I want to bring up in regards to that.
Okay.
But I appreciated and enjoyed that they brought it to life.
Yeah, it was interesting because I thought that by her going and finding Mjolnir, I'm going to be really butchering that word now. It was broken, right, from Ragnarok, right? And it came back together for her. And because nothing was working, she thought that might cure her, and instead it had the opposite effect. I thought that she was going to be saved, and then as the movie progressed and she wasn't getting better, oh, that's unexpected.
But, and here's where I kind of think it did save her. It let her go out on her terms. So that's where I thought kind of it did. It protected her, and she didn't feel the pain. She didn't feel the torment. She lived and helped and continued to help people until the very last breath. That's kind of how I viewed it.
Okay. So kind of an extension of that, Valkyrie and Dr. Jane Foster's interaction.
Oh, they were adorable together. The way they played off each other was fun.
Yeah. And, it was really cool how it was almost like a sisterhood type thing, Mm-hmm. Yeah, in all of the chaos that was going on and all of this war and everything, that especially that scene where they were watching Thor when Zeus removed the disguise.
And everything else.
So, he was basically the center of attention, all naked. And they were just like, oh, grape. Yeah. Should we help him? No.
Let him go through this.
Yeah.
I like the
so
scene
cute.
where they were, Jane smashes the sink with the hammer because, she knows what's going on. She feels it when she doesn't hold the hammer.
Right.
And then Valkyrie knocks on the door, is like, you ready to go? And it's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine. It's like the sink would say otherwise.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. You good? You got everything? That banter back and forth.
Right.
And then she picks it. She's like, grenade? No, Bluetooth speaker. And clicks it and it starts playing music.
Right.
Silly interactions like that are meant to be lighthearted and are meant to move the story along. Between the two of them worked very, very well.
But the thing is, it also shows that they're building a relationship, right? And Jane, in that scene, if I remember correctly, says, please don't tell him. Him meaning Thor. Because she wasn't ready yet to let him know.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want him to look at her as a person with cancer. She still wanted to have him look at her like, okay, I'm Jane.
Yeah. Right? I mean, even when, in the very beginning, where he's like, who's the new guy? And Valkyrie's like, oh, you're going to love this.
I know.
It's like that sibling banter between them. And then, give credit to Tessa Thompson and Natalie Portman. The way they play with what they have.
Oh my God. Okay.
I like it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. And it did seem like the cast was doing the best that they could with what they were given, right? But the fact that Chris Hemsworth was actually, his comedic timing is just, I think it's getting better and better as each of these films move forward. I mean, I haven't seen him in other things.
We saw him in Ghostbusters. I thought he was funny in Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I've forgotten that. The one with all of the leads being female.
Where I think, and again, I'm going to be so in the minority on this, it was a fun movie for what it was. I don't think it should have been a reboot. It should have been like an additional, like a sequel type thing. But it was still a fun movie, Ghostbusters.
I mean, the fact that, he was the hunky
secretary
was
funny.
Was a little bit of an airhead.
Yeah, but he's got comedic, chops. It's fun to watch.
Yep. Okay, what else do we want to talk about?
I like Korg. He's just so quirky.
And the fact that their whole species is male.
Mm-hmm. And then but holding hands in the lava pit. Ow. But ow. Love can be painful. Get it?
Oh my God.
Oh man, where is it?
No.
I got it right.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, speaking of Korg, that scene where he's only a face.
He's leaned up against the wall.
He's leaned up against the wall, and he's talking to Valkyrie, and he makes a comment that, he notices that she keeps a distance because she doesn't want to get hurt, and that she was avoiding that pain again. And it's where we know she lost her sisters in that battle, but she also lost her girlfriend or her lover, for lack of a better term, right? And so I applaud Marvel for actually keeping the fact that, okay, in other species and in other gods and other mythologies, for lack of a better term, there are gay characters, just like there are gay people everywhere. I should say queer everywhere.
There are queer people. There are queer animals.
In nature, yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing's changed.
It is just
except
normal.
we're on screen now representing people.
Yeah. So it's not as much as I would like, but at least it's getting further than just a, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Subtext.
It's actually said in dialogue. And, there's also a snippet where you do see Korg and who was it? Dwayne? Holding hands, right?
Yep.
When Gorg finally
Towards the end.
Korg finally gets his body back.
Which, by the way, speaking of that, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but the scene where Valkyrie ties his mask to the back of her head via her braids, and he looks like he's got a mustache. She's like, "Ooh, 9:00, 3:00, noon." And she's like, "What?" And she's whipping around. That was funny.
Yeah, that was quite hilarious. Anything else that we should mention here?
The one thing they do well here is they show that love is not just one thing. You have your parental love. You have, which I think was between Gorr and his daughter, Love, which is her name. You have romantic love. You've got Thor and Jane. You have platonic love, which was Star-Lord's love for his crew. Dealing with the loss of Gamora and whatever, Endgame and Infinity War and everything else.
I mean, in the trailer, he's like, just look in the eyes of those who you love.
And he's looking at his crew. And then Thor ducks in.
Or tries to anyway. It's like, no, not you.
I mean, one other thing that outside of love and everything, and it was a simple little thing that I didn't pick up on until much later. I actually woke up this morning and went, wait a minute. Jane tells Thor it's been what? 2-3 years?
2-3 years, yeah.
And he says, no, it's like 8 years. That includes the snap.
Yeah, because
it didn't hit me until I was like, oh. So, I mean, I appreciate that they kept little, at least there's continuity throughout.
But that's the strength of the Marvel films, right? They
Oh, yeah.
give you a lot of Easter eggs, and they tie all of these different stories. They weave in and out of these stories so that they're interconnected. And I love the tapestry that they've created.
Could you imagine that long Excel spreadsheet, though?
Yes, I can.
Oof.
It would take a village just to make sure that they have everything straight. So again, it's the way that they're able to pull all of these different storylines together, and even if it's just that one word or one scene thing to tie it together, that's what makes it unique, at least to me.
No, I agree.
So
Should we go into the bad?
Yeah,
Go for it.
and I told you this at the theater after we were waiting for the final scene credits. It felt lacking that, there are some jokes that were, okay, they were cute and they were funny, but it seemed like a lot of the other jokes just fell flat. And I kept waiting for the whole movie to, pick up.
And it also started very weird.
Yeah. There were a couple of people who came in, just as the movie started. And they leaned over to me and said, "Excuse me, what movie is this?" And I said, "It's Thor." It's like, "Oh, so it just started." I'm like, "Yeah, it did."
But there were trailers right before it. And normally when a feature film starts, you'll have the trailers, and then even as the movie is starting,
You'll say there's Planet or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's an indication, even if there's some wording on it where it's like, Marvel Studios or whatever. Literally, it just opens up with him walking through a sandstorm desert. And I'm like, is this a trailer? I thought it was the trailer for Dune. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was Dune Part 2. I was like, oh God, I got to sit through the trailer. That's what I thought it was. It was like, oh wait, we're in the film. It was very confusing. And like you said, it was lacking. It felt very thin. It's like, okay, I don't know the relationship. I don't know what got him there. I don't know anything about him. I just know his daughter died and now he's mad. And I don't, fault him for that. But all of a sudden, he's got a sword and he's stabbing someone. And that was a god. And he says, I'm going to kill the god. And says, the sword shows you you're cursed. And he's like, it doesn't feel like one.
Yeah, there just didn't seem to be a lot of preamble
No
to
build up
get
for it.
us into that. Yeah, I didn't feel a lot of the connection between Gorr and his daughter. I know that Christian Bale is great, and he emoted the fact that his daughter is dead, and he was very saddened by that. But to me, it wasn't enough.
It didn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
It felt more like, okay, even in the beginning of Nemo, which is an even up, there's a death within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you saw the progression.
But that's the point.
So that by the time that scene happened, we were bawling our eyes out.
But even Nemo, there's just like little stuff and all you see the eggs, but there's a creativity in the way they develop it so that you feel connected to the characters that when it happens, you're like, whoa.
There's that hook.
Immediately starting with this, there's a guy walking through the desert and one of them's going to die because there's no water. And then he's praying to the gods. Okay, I, to be honest, half expected it to start raining. I didn't understand. And maybe that's me, but it didn't resonate. And when he lost his child, I was like, okay, this is a huge moment. Why don't I feel connected to it?
Yeah.
In that regard, going off that, Valkyrie and Jane Foster, I mean, this, from what I understand, is a slight tangent. This is one of the shortest films in all of Marvel.
Oh, you mentioned that to me. I don't
I'd
know.
have to look it up again, but I believe it's one of the shortest.
It didn't feel short.
It felt very, very long, but they didn't use Valkyrie and the Mighty Thor. And again, commend them for bringing it in and staying true to the comics, but they didn't flesh it out. There was no development. There was no development on existing characters like Valkyrie, for example. We do know that, all this other stuff. She's got her quirky self and whatnot. They're still king. We know they've been developing and working with New Asgard, which is great, but we don't know much more. There's not a bigger stepping stone for them. Even as background, there should have been something. And with the Mighty Thor as such a pivotal thread in this film, it was the same
enough.
thread. Show me more. Don't tell me. Don't narrate. Show me.
Yeah.
And it felt like they were wasted.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in that. I wanted to see more of them. And maybe a lot of other people thought that they were part of the action, right, during the battles, but I didn't feel like it was always Thor. Thor had to come in.
It is a Thor movie.
I understand that, but if this was, Thor needed their help in order to overthrow or stop Gorr, it didn't feel like they were helping him at all.
It sort of felt like, here's your Thor scene, cut. Here's your Mighty Thor scene, cut. Here's your Valkyrie. There was no cohesion.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue. This film, and I actually told you this, it felt like part two, like, every film all of a sudden turned their last book into two parts. And for me, it was the Harry Potter film 7, book whatever.
Film 8.
Film whatever. The very, very last one, where all it was the battle. And it's like you jump right in and it's battle, battle, battle. And I remember when you and I saw that, we both had the same feeling. It was very thin. It was very weak. It was nothing but a battle. This could have been with part 1 and they could have just made it longer, or they could have taken some of part 1, saved it and put it with part 2. And then that way there was some development and then the battle. This just literally felt like a ride at Disney, where you're about to hop on, you're thrust into a huge action sequence, and then 30 seconds later, you're off the ride. Except in this case, it felt like the ride was 6 hours long.
Well, it didn't feel like 6 hours, but it definitely felt longer than the hour and 50 minutes or whatever it was.
It dragged.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel like there was substance to it to create this. I wasn't afraid. I literally leaned over to you and went, okay, so Thor might get to eternity first and wish for Jane to live. I don't,
Well, that's what you said in the theater. Like, okay, Thor's going to get there.
Ending.
Yep.
There was no investment in Gorr. I didn't care. And first off, going back to Gorr, Why, if he knows he needs Stormbreaker and he knows that he's going to do this, there's absolutely no reason for him to kill any other god. Any other god. All he needs is Stormbreaker. Okay, maybe you had mentioned he makes an attack on one place that he knows Sif is going to be to call for help, because then Thor will show up and then Thor will do something. But there's no reason. Zeus is right. Why are we panicking? He's gone after a few puny gods. Why? There's no reason for Thor to go to Zeus. There's no reason for Gorr to kill everybody. There's no reason. He needs Stormbreaker. So you go after, let me think, Thor.
Well, then there wouldn't be much of a storyline, and there's no way to bring in what is that? Star-Lord's crew into the film.
The Asgardians of the galaxy.
Yes.
Well, but they have to start it off like that no matter what, because of the fact that they were together at the end of Endgame. So they just started off, which that's another thing. They felt absolutely wasted. It was like, okay, we're going to do 20 minutes here of you guys just to separate you, because we ended the last film this way, so we've got to do it to just kick you out. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, so moving on from that to something a little bit more mundane. I am a little worried about the direction of the Marvel movies, especially in Phase 4.
So wait, are you saying?
I think I am raising somewhat of a yellow flag. Now, we have not seen Shang-Chi.
No, we have not.
And the Ten Rings. And I have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home.
I saw No Way Home, but, and it's a caveat, I don't know if it was good because the story was good or if it was good because it hit the nostalgia marks for me.
And that's fair. But what I wanted to kind of point out here is that the stories and the movies that we have seen in Phase 4 don't have the same gravitas, if that's the right word, or it's not the same as like the movies from Phase 1, 2, or 3. It's the only word I can come up with is lacking.
There are people actually calling it Marvel fatigue.
It could be.
And if we bring in Disney Plus, we've not seen Loki. I've seen an episode of Ms. Marvel, but I wanted to wait to see that with you. But WandaVision is and has been the only thing to stand out for me so far in Phase 4.
Yeah, WandaVision was phenomenal. And I mean, we actually went back and watched Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were like, did we miss something?
Yeah, I had hoped it was like, okay, maybe something happened there that I was supposed to know that then led into this.
And it was like watching two different movies.
And Ragnarok is over 2 hours, and you were like, wait, it's over?
Yeah.
It made no sense to me that it's the same type of film, but it
was different.
Yeah, if your word is great, it's lacking. It just, yeah.
So anyway, any more bad?
I think that was enough.
Okay, so let's go on to the cute.
Oh, wait. When okay, I know there was absolutely no reason for him to go to the gods because hello, Stormbreaker was all he needed. But when Thor goes to the god, there was Bao, the god of dumplings. It was Bao. Oh my god!
I was like, oh, look at that! It's turning
was so
red.
Cute.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, it's the Bao, the short film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I love that short film. It still makes me cry every time I see it, but I don't care. I love it.
I know.
So cute.
And then right after, he was like,
we had dumplings.
Yeah, we have to have dumplings. I'm like, you want to eat Bao? Okay, fine.
No. No. I just wanted dumplings.
Okay. All right. What else? You actually mentioned this to me. I didn't know it. That Chris Hemsworth's daughter played the character of Love. And I thought, wow, that's so cool. Look at that.
I thought the goats were funny.
Of course you would.
They wouldn't stop screaming. Think about it. They scream, they fly, they answer to whistles. I mean, it's like, if you want people out of your house, just let the goats scream. You want calm? If you notice, they got calm when you started talking about them being meat. So,
wouldn't you?
Yes. But the point is, they were so outlandish and so silly that they were adorable. They were a good running gag through the film.
See, for me, though, every time that they started bleeding, I was like, bleating.
It was like they weren't bleeding.
No, they weren't bleeding. They were bleating. I'm like, oh my God, that's starting to get annoying.
Oh, I had no problem with it. I also love the fact that it was, Stormbreaker made a rainbow bridge. Sorry.
That was cute. For me, one of the cutes that I really, really liked and that I was really getting into was towards the end of the film when Thor finally released all the kids, right? And he gave them, for one day only,
For a limited time only.
the power of Thor, and the Asgardian kids were wielding, their weapons, and all of them, got a weapon before he did that, right? Except for this one kid who kept holding her little bunny, and her bunny then became her weapon, and it was just really adorable. It's like, yeah. Anyway, any more cute?
Korg. Korg is adorable. Come on.
He is. I like his little one-liners. Okay. Any more cute?
I want dumplings now.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So with that, I'm going to say that our discussion of Thor: Love and Thunder has come to an end.
Yay!
And now it is time for our Forever Fangirls rating. Drum roll, please. We rate Thor: Love and Thunder 2.5 stars. Yes, we agree on this rating.
I really wanted to like this film so much. I wanted to see more development of the Mighty Thor. As Sheila mentioned, we had watched Thor Ragnarok when we got home to see if we missed anything and if there was a reason the film felt off. But Ragnarok was just leaps and bounds better. It's over 2 hours. Doesn't feel like it. If you're going to go see a film, whether it be Thor, Ragnarok or Thor: Love and Thunder, I would tell you go see Ragnarok, and then if you've got, you want to just do something, watch Love and Thunder to learn about the Mighty Thor. But I really hope that Valkyrie and Mighty Thor get their own movies somehow. I know the end credit shows Mighty Thor at Valhalla, but I really hope they do something to give them more, because they deserve more.
Yeah, and so I was actually going to say the same thing. Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, they were worlds apart, even though they were directed by the same guy.
Which is weird, right?
Yeah, Taika Waititi. I'm sorry.
Did he write Love and Thunder, though?
I think he was one of the writers for Love and Thunder. And I think, that was the difference, right? It was the story. The story just wasn't there for me for Love and Thunder. But it was there for Ragnarok. And in Ragnarok, Valkyrie seemed to have more development. I don't know. Maybe the bar was set just way too high for in Ragnarok for Love and Thunder to meet it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, like I said, we'll see.
So that's going to be our show for today, folks. Thank you again for joining us. Was there anything we missed? As always, please let us know at speakpipe.com/Forever Fangirls podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast on your smartphone, please be sure to hit that little subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And finally, if you don't mind and you have a moment, just leave us a quick review and let us know what to improve on or, what you love.
And until next time, stay safe, be kind, and remember, time is very short, so we need to make the most of it. All anyone really wants is to love and be loved. The world is big enough to handle different kinds of love. What do you choose?